Guys, Tattoo For You, Richard here, and it's time for a Kits, Bits, and Swag review. Tutorials and oopsies. I think it's going to be a little bit of both today. So, what I have before me is I got a stencil from, an airbrush stencil from Fallout Hobbies. These guys right here, Fallout Hobbies. High-end wargaming wargame decals. Ooh. Of course, as always, I will leave a link below. Supposedly they make custom decals too. I haven't tried that out, but I really want to because I've used somebody else before, and the paper that they use, you have to paint the model a certain way in order to put the stencil down, or else you'll have a big, thick white border around it. So I'm kind of looking forward to messing around with that and seeing what I can do, because I'd like some Cobra symbols from G.I. Joe, and I'd like to get some Macross symbols. So anyway, that's one of the deals they offer. They have tons of different stencils. They're self-adhesive stencils too. They're vinyl. They have vinyl backing. This, you can't see it, but I have the leopard pattern. It's going to be for my daughter, my 7-year-old daughter's Eldar thing. She's not that serious in it, and right now it's just an excuse for me to paint some Eldar up. I literally only have the one figure that I did, the yellow and orange one, and then I have this, that China cast garbage that I picked up for 20 bucks because I was bored. It's going to be my guinea pig. So what I did on this, it's sprayed black. I'll show you this whenever we go camera down. That way you can see it a little bit better, the details of what we're doing. But anyway, Fallout Hobbies, that's what I'm going to kind of review and kind of do a test run thing. Because here's my ultimate plan. Here's what I have in my head. If any of y'all are familiar with like car painting, automotive painting and stuff, they do it, I think, my air compressor's going off. So, we're breaking out that bad boy today. Who gets to screw up airbrushing on camera? This guy right here. But anybody with automotive knowledge of painting and stuff, ghosting. How you do the ghost flames, where you will do your base coat, and you'll come back in and do your flames, and then you'll come back in with a transparent paint and go over top of that. And you'll do a couple layers of it to where at certain angles you won't see it. You won't see the flames until it just hits just right. Now, normally that's going to be metallic paint jobs and stuff like that. I'm not doing that or attempting that per se. But what I want is, if you look at a Black Panther and you can kind of see, like sometimes when the light hits it just right, you see the spots through the black. I want something like that. I have the vehicles painted black with a little bit of highlight. I'm going to come in, and normally you would have a darker spots, like black spots, and then ghost over that with like a real thin black wash or whatever to kind of hide that or something. In my head, that's what I'm thinking. But what I'm doing today is going to be that black. I'm going to go lighter gray spots, and then I'm going to come back over it with a really thinned out black, and even from a distance, and just kind of do a couple of passes to kind of almost hide those where they're a little bit dull. It'll either work or it won't, but the main deal is we're going to review on how well these stencils work, not how well I screw things up. But feel free to leave a link in the comments below at how much I screwed that up, because I won't care. Anyway, guys, let's go table down and rock this business out. Guys, here we are, table down. This is the guy that we're going to be working on. Got him stuck to the table now. Not this guy. Help! Let me out! Help! This is by far my favorite Games Workshop model. I don't know why. His nurgly beastiness is just really cool. But anyway. So this guy right here. I sprayed it black. It's been done black. And it's been highlighted with a Luftwaffe gray. So it's that kind of blue-gray. I didn't want to go any lighter than that, really. This is China cast, so the cast is a little textured and just blah, 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 blah. But anyway, we're going to mess around with this. I do, because there's instructions right here. So anyway, Fallout Hobbies. decals, and they carry stencils as well. And here is their custom wargame decals. Send us your ideas. We redraw your logo because we didn't like your ideas in the first place. We print your decals in any color you want, including white toner, and ship directly to you. It's that darn easy. Gosh, the language. So, and then here's your instructions. We have prep the model. Make sure your model's base coats have been thoroughly dried. Obviously it has. It's dried several days. Overnight is preferred, but not necessarily. If the paint is not fully dried before the vinyl stencil, it may lift off some of the paint. Durr. I knew that. Prep the stencil for use. Remove it from its backing. Blah, 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 blah. Obviously use a hobby knife to get some of the extra details off. The complex patterns like lettering sheets or evil elven tribal sheets. Oh, evil elven. Would benefit from removing the negative areas of the stencil while they're on the backing. Apply the stencil. Here we go. So our self-adhesive stencils have a certain amount of tack to them. This allows them stencils to stick and conform to various compound surfaces and models that the rigid airbrush stencils would not be able to do, obviously. This allows superior results with crisp paint lines, sharp details when applying, and the stencil patience. When applying the stencil, patience is a virtue. Ha ha ha. Take your time to align the pattern properly. When airbrushing, use light, even coats of paint. Do not let the paint get too wet or drippy. Obviously, that's a thing you learn big time with airbrushing, because what you do is you're going to create a layer instead of getting it just inside the stencil. This will seep onto the stencil as well, cause sloppy paint separation and create sloppy paint separation lines. Hee hee hee. Stupid. Lips, they just stick together. Removing stencil after airbrushing. After airbrushing, when removing the stencil, a slow, even pull is preferred. Peeling a stencil way too fast could potentially damage the paint. Obviously, if it goes back to that thing I was saying where the paint could have dried together and created like a solid mass on top of the stencil and the model. So you peel it off, you rip things off. Could potentially damage the paint job or tear the stencil. Step 5, advanced techniques. Most of our stencils have various pattern sizes sheets. This allows you to overlap different sizes, patterns, and colors for advanced results. Step 6, play jazz with it. I don't have any jazz. Oh. You can also mix and match different stencils to achieve unique effects. Our stencil line is ever expanding, and there are dozens of ways to mix and match patterns so the customized look different. So here are all the pictures they look. Look at them Harley Quinn business. That's beast. Now, I've seen people do that with hand. That just blows your mind. But here's a way for us people who can't do that by hand, and we can blow others' minds. So here we have the stencils. You can kind of see this right here. It comes with 2 different ones. See if I can get the light to angle just right. Oh, stop it. Stop it. There we go. There's a bigger pattern. And then a smaller pattern. Actually, that's the bigger pattern. The other one was a smaller pattern. I'm dumb. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to pause the camera. I'm going to get things set up. I'm going to go ahead and peel the stencil off and stick it on. And I'll let you know any problems I had when I did that. Blurry picture. There we go. I'll be right back. Alright guys, here I am back an hour later. No, seriously, it took me an hour. I'll tell you right now, it's going to lose points for that. Their vinyl cutter, it seems like, didn't cut through all the spots. So I had to literally go through and pick every single one of these out and cut off where it was still connected. Tore some of it and things like that. That's not as good. That doesn't make me very happy. But anyway, so right now I've got the pale gray, and I'm gonna go over and just give them a light little dusting. Oh. You guys see what I'm doing? I've got it stuck on there pretty good. I'm going through the camera as always. So that puts me a little further away than I typically like to be when I'm doing stuff like this. But it's okay. And I hope you can hear me with the airbrush right in the camera. You probably can't, so I'm talking to myself, I'm sure. But alright guys, give me 1 second. I'll pull this up a little closer so I can see a little better real quick. So, alright guys, so that's on there. I'm gonna peel it off. I'll do it on camera. Just let it dry for a second. Like I said, we don't want to let it dry too long. It's got a good stick on there. Peel it slowly. I don't really necessarily think that looks like leopard spots, but and there's an area where it wasn't stuck down good in the, to the vehicle, so it looked a little weird. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna put this here. Pull it tight. Make sure it's on there really well. Go through, push it down, and apply it. So it looks like that. And then I'm going to give this a spray, and then I'll do the same thing to the other side. I'll do this on camera so you can see. I always start in the white spot of the stencil first, at least I try to, and then kind of come on to it really good. Let that sit for a second again. And then peel her off. It'll come across a little better. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to finish up. I'm going to do back here. Get a little bit more on the nose. I'm probably not. You know what? I'm going to leave the nose blank. But then do this side and then the back piece. And then we'll come back and look at the whole thing. Alright guys, I'm back. That is done. There it is, covering leopard spots. I could have done a little bit better about getting the stencil down on there a little even and more flush to the model, or stuck to the model better. But I didn't. So there is a bit of overspray, but that's on my part. That's my bad on that. So far, my only complaint with the model itself is the peeling of the vinyl stickers off. That's my biggest issue so far. I mean, and I've used stencils before, vinyl stencils before, and really I don't think it should have took me an hour to peel those off. I mean, somewhat understandable that you're going to have pieces that stick or whatever to it, but that was a bit much. So now what I'm going to do is completely mess up everything I just did by taking this. It's actually a little bit darker than what you see in there. It would be close to the Luftwaffe gray, but I put black in it to kind of darken it up a bit. And now I'm going to do a light coat of the black, the lighter gray over it. And then in the end, I'm going to come back with another dark shade of black, more black in it than gray, and do another light coat over the whole thing. Not enough to hide what's under there, but to kind of tint it down a bit. I don't know if you can kind of see right there. This is what color it looks like. That's really close to that Luftwaffe gray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and, like I said, I'm going to do a light. I'm going to blow everything off my table. And I'm just going to come and I'm going to gently fit it. And blow more stuff off my table as I do it. Making sure I go over the whole model. Kind of hide it in there. So you can kind of see how that is. I'm going to pause the video now. I'm going to go back through and do it through the rest of it, and then we'll talk to you later. Alright guys, second to last stop and go. So went in there and I did the gray and I did little highlight blips and spots here in the back of the tail. Just kind of highlighted the area. Now I'm going to come in and do some shading. I think it's completely backwards. I've got black in here. So now I'm going to come through and I'm going to do some black in spots. Kind of the same thing where I'm going to hit it from a distance. Now again, this is all me just messing around. Like I'm not even sure how well this is all going to work. Kind of look at how it's doing. It's kind of darkening up over that. What I'm doing is I'm hitting right around all the highlights I just did. Now I'm sure there's probably a quicker, easier way I could do this. But this is me we're talking about. Who does things quick and easy? So you see that? So it is really toned down the spots a bit. If you can see that, if the camera stays in focus. Oh! Sorry, I dropped the camera. My poor light's starting to die too. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and finish this while I'm still on the camera with you. Ava. Please don't get in the way. I don't want to spray you in the face with this thing.
Do it.
It's really fun airbrushing them with body paint. That's fun. So, here we go. That's kind of toned back. I could probably go a little bit darker on it, but I really don't want to lose all of that. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video now, and then I'm going to finish painting the rest of this up. Just the natural stuff that really doesn't matter. Doesn't have anything to do with this review video. I'll be back with y'all guys in a little while. Alright guys, here we go. This is the finale.
Sorry.
My daughter just smacked my wife in the face. She said, "Go make me a sandwich." No. So Fallout Hobbies, cons, they're cutter, their printer, did not cut through the. Say hello to Hulk. Does not cut through the vinyl very well. I almost had to cut my own stencils. I would say at least every other spot that I was taking out, I had to cut it to get it out because it was still stuck. Honestly, that's the only con. I mean, the pros, I can use it over and over again. You will have to find something to stick it on. Right now, I stuck it on the backing here. Excuse me. Or the baggie that it came in. I stuck it on there and it's fine. Each sheet has two different sizes. It has a big and a smaller version. Which a smaller version just means that there's more on this sheet and it's going to be harder for me to peel off. So, oh, I do have another con. The con is these sheets were $14 for one sheet of this. Now, yes, it can be reused, but really, I mean, you mess up the stickiness one time, you're gonna, it's not gonna work the way it's supposed to. As far as its use, yeah, it works perfect. Had I been a little better with it, sorry, I could have had it stuck down a little better on this side and it would have came out a little bit cleaner. But overall, like I said, I'm happy with it. I'm pleased. Would I buy them again? Probably not. Maybe if they were cheaper. I'm sure there's probably other stencil companies out there to use. My toe got bit by a ferret. But yeah, dude, I mean, follow Hobbies if you want to. Give them a check out, man. Because, you know, I'm not the awesome Rockin hobbyist. You know, I'm not Captain Professional. I make oopses all the time. So here is another oops. So yeah, I'm like I said, the model looks good. I'm happy with it. This is kind of what I was looking for, the effect. Follow Hobbies. I'll leave a link to their website below. You can give them a check out. I would say out of a 1 to 5 ranking, I will give them a 3.5. And the only reason they won't get, like, say, a full-on 4 is the price. They won't get a 5 at all because of that stupid issue with the cutter. But I'd say 3.5. They're not terrible. So, anyway, guys, love you all. Thank you very much for stopping by and checking it out. And make sure every one of you have a rockin', wonderful nerd life. I'm about to go have ferret fun. See you later.